Well, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's weekly recap is for February the 5th, 2024, which is Monday, February the 5th, 2024, through December, oh my goodness, through Friday, February the 9th, 2024. So Monday through Friday. Well, let's get started, y'all. Okay. Adam still wants to go see Connor. Chelsea, her main goal is to stop him from going to see Connor because the teachers there and the staff therapists they're gonna work on it, work on a plan so he could get more sleep at night, and they're gonna handle it. I don't agree with that, and I've said it before, y'all. Okay, they don't have to move where Connor's at, but I do believe they need to go because he needs to know if he's struggling, his parents are there for him. Period. I'm not going to let some counselors tell me wait till Parents' Day to come see your struggling child. It's just not going to happen, right? So does, talk him out of it, which, she'll regret later. Okay. And they do a FaceTime with him, which let him know they love him and they can't wait to see him on Parents' Day. And now we have uh Tracy wants Ashley to face reality there in Paris. Ashley, because you remember Ashley disappeared. Well, unbeknownst to Ashley, Tracy goes and questions the staff, other staff members that remember, and all of them back or corroborate Tucker's story, not Ashley's. So Tracy is trying to say when Ashley does come back, she's like, Ash, let's just get out of here. Let's just go. And Ashley's like, yeah, this place does have bad aura to it. She goes, exactly, let's go. No, I have a friend here. I'm going to go see my friend. I'm going to talk through the issues. Really? What friend? So she tells Tracy, Tracy, you take the jet and you go home. She's like, Ash, I don't want to leave. Tracy, you take the jet and you go home. Once I get things, together, I'm going to come back home. So Tracy goes home. She's trying to find Jack. She's trying to get Jack. Oh, she really wants to talk to him about she's concerned. And she wants to tell him she questioned Tucker did not do what Ashley's remembering. And she doesn't feel the staff was lying to her, right? It was too many of them. And she even offered them money, more money than Tucker ever could have paid them. And it just didn't waver them. So anyway, Ashley, he says, where is Ashley? She goes, she wouldn't come home. He goes, oh no. But meantime, what he was dealing with with Nikki was he got a call from Nikki, Jack, because remember, Victor had his security team following Nikki. They follow her to the bar. They call him, tell him. He goes there. He looks around. He doesn't see Nikki. So he's talking to the bartend/waiter. And he says, look around. Our people want privacy here. Because he says, have you seen a blonde woman, blue eyes, uh, older, And the guy goes, like I said, our people want privacy. So Victor whips out $100, and the guy goes, yeah, there was somebody that fits that description here earlier, drinking. Yes, I don't know where she's at now, but she was absolutely here. Nikki comes out the bathroom, sees Victor talking to the guy, so she slinks back, right? Till Victor leaves. Oh, she's drinking, more drinking. And she calls Jack. And she goes, actually, she calls Jack while Victor is still there at the bar. Jack, I'm in trouble. I need you to distract Victor. He's here. Call him away. Make up something. Ugh. And he's like, oh my God, Nikki? And he realizes, he goes, Nikki, where are you? Just do it, Jack. I need you to get Victor out of here before he sees me. Ugh. So Jack calls Victor and he tells him, I need to meet you. It's about Nikki. So Victor's like, what do you mean about my wife, about Nikki? He goes, I just need to see you. He goes, okay, I'm on my way. But before um, Jack got the call from Nikki, Lauren, and actually I think he got the call while he was with Lauren. He convinces Lauren to take the job. Well, fill in, not really take the job. Lauren ain't gonna get paid. She don't need money. Fill in as Nikki's assistant. And Lauren says, but Jack, I don't know media. He says, you know everything about merchandising. You know everything about marketing. She goes, but okay, Nikki's gonna see it for what it is. I'm babysitting her so she doesn't take a drink. You know, is she going to agree to that? And he says, Nikki needs help, Lauren. And you have a business mind on you. You know, you don't need to be taught the ropes. You will be able to help her in Newman Media and help her as a friend. So Lauren actually agrees. She's like, the springish line is out. Everything's running like a well-oiled machine. She would still keep an eye on Finmore's, but she has upper management to handle that. So she says, if Nikki agrees, fine, I'll do it. So Jack was happy. And then that's when he gets the call from Nikki and he's like, oh. So Victor comes and Jack goes into his office. And guess what, everybody? Jack tells him the truth. Jack tells the truth. And the truth is, he's Nikki's sponsor. And Victor, oh, you know, we got to get through the blustering. I blame you. Why you? You are not qualified. We had to go through Victor, Victor, Victor. So Jack says, be that as it may, I understand addiction and I am qualified. And Nikki chose me. Victor's like, why are you telling me now? He said, because she's reached out to me. She is in trouble. I don't know where she's at. Because what do you mean? She wanted me apparently to distract you, to get you out of wherever she's at. And so Victor's like, and you enabled her? You enabled her. So Jack just says, look, I'm going to tell you right now. We all need to help Nikki. She needs support from her family. These lies, you know, seeing us together and having a lying is not going to help her. Honesty and support of her family is going to help her. So as Jack is talking to Victor, she gets another call. Jack. And he goes, Nikki, did my car pick you up? No, it didn't pick me up, Jack. Yeah, Victor was it. So he's like, Nikki, just hang on. I'll be there. So Victor gets up, you know, snatches up and gets his coat. So they're both going over there to the bar. And actually, I don't know why he asked her, did my car pick you up? He didn't know where she was. Victor's the one that knew where she was, right? So they get there and Nikki is just sprawled out, you know, over the table, just drunk as us, just passed out. And he's like, my baby, Nikki, my baby, Nikki. And she wakes up and she goes, who? Oh, Victor. Oh no, Victor, I don't want you seeing me like this, Victor. Oh. And then she sees Jack. You. What did you do? You betrayed me. And he goes, I did not betray you, Nikki. And Victor's like, no, baby, nobody's betrayed you. We've got to get you out of here. So he's trying to get her up, and Jack ends up, when I say lending a hand, I mean he just barely put his hand on her forearm there because he wasn't helping getting her up. That was Victor. And Nikki's like, "Give my purse." And Jack is like, "I have your purse, Nikki." So Victor puts her in the car, and his driver, she's passed out in the back, and he's called the bar and let everybody, nobody will say, my wife was in there, and, almost pretty much gag ordered them. And nobody will ever serve her another drink. How would every single body know? Nikki, right? So that ain't gonna last. And she wakes up, and she's, "Of course, I'm a burden to you. Oh, I hate being a burden to you." And he's like, "What was Jack doing with you?" "Well, we were coming to get you." Says, "What is this, Jack? Abbott is your spot." Oh, he's going on and on and on. He drove me crazy with that. He hasn't learned his approach never helps Nikki. Never. Right? So she says, "Look, we need to go to Jack's house." And he goes, "Why would we go to Jack's house?" "Because for one, I want to apologize to him. He didn't betray me. You should have been in the loop." So anyway, they do go over there, and Diane makes herself scarce, and they talk it out. And Victor still, "I still don't think it should be you." The same old Victor. And Nikki says, "But it is going to be him. And you're going to have to trust me on it." So they settle the whole thing, and pretty much it's we get there. And what happened is, let's see, was that this week? Let me look. Nikki got a call from Jordan. That's right. While she was waiting, the same music was playing, that burlesque music. And she's like, "That's right, Jordan. I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting. Come and try to get me." So she hangs up, and she goes to the table by the window looking out the blinds, and that's where she passes out. So, of course, now we know, and everybody knows Jordan's alive. Okay, on to other topics. Other topics are, while Tracy is trying to talk to Ashley, remember I said, and Ashley convinced her to go home? Tracy is looking at Ashley, and she's like, "Okay, something's definitely clearly wrong with her." Right? And she says, "Ashley, honey, you're scaring me. I don't like the look you have in your eye right now." "What look do I have in my eye? What look do I have in my eye?" She goes, "You need to come home for the support of your family." Tracy could see she's losing grips with reality. She really, really can. So, I mean, sees it. So she's waiting for Jack, waiting for Jack. Jack finally comes home after dealing with Nikki, because she had been calling him. He hadn't answered his phone. And so she tells Jack and Diane what she found out, how she offered to pay the staff more. And she's like, "Ashley is, for some reason, remembering the story not the way it happened." And she goes, "Jack, it didn't happen the way she's remembering it." And so they're like, "Oh, well, what are you trying to say?" She goes, "Ashley needs our help. She does. And we need to be there for her. We need to convince her to finally see the truth so that she can move on." And so Ashley comes in, and she's like, "Well, what's going on here?" No, Tracy's gone. Tracy leaves. Jack and Diane are talking, because remember, now after Tracy talks to him and Diane, Tracy leaves, Victor and Nikki, come over, and then they leave, and then now it's Jack and Diane talking. And he's talking to her about Nikki, and he's like, "Oh my God, between Nikki and Ashley." Ashley comes in. "What's going on with you two?" He goes, "Ash, you're back." She goes, "Yes, I'm back." And she goes, "Oh, can you believe it? Tucker McCall, he bribed the whole bistro, all the employees to lie." And they're looking at her like, "Wait, what? What's coming out of your mouth?" Because they had already heard what Tracy said, right? And they could see she's erratic, like wired. with it, drinking and wired. And Diana's looking at Jack. Jack's looking at Diane. She's like, why are you guys looking at each other that way? What is going on? He goes, Tracy will be back soon. Let's all talk as a family. Why should we need to talk as a family? What are you talking about? So, of course, Jack tells her what Tracy had found out. Because remember, Tracy hasn't talked to Ashley. She didn't even know Ashley was back. And she goes, I can't believe it. Now she flips completely 180, erratic. I came home for the comfort of my family, and you all are stabbing me in the back. You're taking Tucker's side. And he's like, Ashley, we're not taking anybody's side. We're always, no, he goes, Ashley, we are always on your side. I'm just saying, things did not happen though. I know how it happened. I know. And they're kind of looking at each other like, okay, what's happening here? Right? And so Tracy comes home and she goes, oh, Ashley, you're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. Why did you tell Jack and Diane, stuff that you didn't even tell me? She goes, well, honey, because you refused to come home and you didn't really want to listen to anything I had to say. And I felt it would be better if we could all discuss this while you're home around your family so we can support you. You're talking to me like there's something wrong with me mentally, like I'm losing my mind. And they're kind of looking at her. Tracy's looking at her like, you know what, honey, if I need to record you and play this back, you're going to see you losing your mind, right? So Ashley decides now she's blowing up. She won't let anybody talk to her. She leaves. So I'm going to go back a bit to the beginning of the week because now I'm progressing to the end with Ashley's story. Tucker and I got so sick of seeing Tucker and Audra. Him trying to convince her that she's the only one for him. Her trying to find out what his plans are. Him trying to say, you know what, each of them are going to try to outsmart each other. But they're both trying to figure out what each other's up to, right? And they're trying to outsmart each other. But of course, they end up in the sack actually a couple times last week. And it just seems so, ugh, the two of them together. Okay. So either way, Audra then decides, okay, to play along because remember, she's trying to get whatever she could get. So she's accepting the fact that Tucker's saying that she's the only one for her, the only woman for her, and blah, blah, blah. Right? We had Abby last week, this past week, meets with Tessa and asks Tessa to manage society for her because right now that all the spring line is done and all her modeling pretty much for Jabot has been done. So it's on an as needed basis until they get into fall, for the fall line. So I guess that means till late summer. So she's actually thrilled and she says she's going to talk it over with Mariah. Once she talks as the street cleaner, y'all, just ignore that sound. Once she talks it over with Mariah, she'll get back to her tomorrow. Let me see. So she's happy about that. And then Cole and Victoria, yeah. They talk about Jordan. We know. What was touching was Adam and Nick. They actually had a brother conversation because Nick could see something was wrong with Adam. And he says, as long as something's wrong with you, then you are not going to be able to be productive. And if you're not able to be productive, we've just gotten to a good place. No, let's talk it out. So he tells him about Connor. And Nick's like, oh, sorry to hear that. And he goes, I don't know what to do. I honestly feel that our son should know. face to face, that we're going to be there. We're there for him. But the staff in the school don't want us to go. See, no, staff in the school could be covering up something, right? I'd have to look my child in the eye. You're not being hurt, right? It could be a cry for help. Get out of here. Get me out of this place, right? So anyway, Nick, gives him some good parenting advice and saying, look, all my children have put me through stuff, you know, and you just got to come out the other side, you know. And then we have Devon talking to Daniel, uh, Heather still trying to, every time she sees Daniel, trying to make demands. It's not fair to me, us having to wait. And I'm not going to wait forever. See, no, Heather, don't come now making demands. You snuck right on in while Lily was gone doing your dirt. So, no. Okay. So anyway, he tells Devon, he goes, have you told Lily? He says, no, we're waiting for her to get in a better space. And he goes, you have talked to her though, haven't you? And he goes, yes, I have talked to her. So in other words, every time you talk to her, you're lying to her. He goes, have you talked to her? And Devon said, yes, I've talked to my sister. He said, did you tell her? He goes, matter of fact, you think I should fly out today? And Devon just looked. He goes, exactly, Devon, exactly. You and I are in agreement that right now is not the time. And Devon says, the longer you let it go on, the harder it's going to be, which is true. The harder it's going to be. See, my thing is, like I said, Maddie is not a minor. Maddie is not a child. This woman is in graduate school. Gonna be a doctor. Maddie can handle it. Handle it meaning my mother could go away to lunch and have a conversation. Lily can handle the breakup. Maddie was not hurt. Maddie was not burned at all. Maddie's the one mourning the loss of a mentor. Come on, a mentor. Not to say that you don't get close to your mentors, but I'm saying all of this, Lily is not in the headspace to handle it. It's such bad, weak writing. Seriously. If Maddie were burned, 3rd degree, Maddie's still in the clinic, bandaged up. See, then we're talking about Lily, her mother, not being in the right headspace. But none of that's happened. But anyway, Danny and Devon, they come have an understanding. So Heather and Lucy go to the coffee house. Yeah, Crimson Lights, to get some whatever pastry it is and some hot chocolate with whipped cream on it, blah, blah, blah. And they asked Danny to go, but he kind of was in a little funk because he had been out where Christine and Phyllis were at Crimson. And he's talking to Christine. And see, every time Christine's like, yeah, I haven't seen you. He goes, yeah, I've been really into the studio, working on the album, just trying to get my mind in that, and stay low. And so she brings up, the kiss between him and Phil. See, she brings it all up, and he's just looking at her. And he goes, I told you, you're misreading into that, which she ain't misreading nothing, right? But so guess who comes walking in? All smiles. Hey, Danny. Just like Christine ain't even there. Hey, where have you been? And he turns and he looks at her, and he has the biggest smile on his face. And Christine is looking at this. And I'm not talking about a forced smile. He's looking at her. Yeah, hi, yeah. I've been in the studio working on my album. Oh, and that song that I helped you write too. I know. Our song. Christine is like, that's not your song. Right? And so he goes, yeah, you haven't answered my calls. He goes, no, I've been burying myself in the studios. She goes, yeah, when we were together and you were getting in the zone, you would do that. Christine is looking at him, right? So she says something snide. And so Danny looks at her and he goes, this is why I've been in the studio. Because see, now her and Phyllis is sniping at each other, over him. Her here, and they talking over him. And he goes, no, you know what, lady, see, this is what I said, I just don't want, I can't handle it. It's not working for me. So Christine says, well, I'm not going to stand here, as she insinuates herself in. And so Christine goes to get to the counter to order her stuff to go. And Danny says, let me explain. I want to explain something to both of you. And Phyllis says, I'm listening. And Christine says, why would I want to hear, anything else from you? And Phyllis says, oh, are you afraid he's here to tell you that he wants me and not you? And she looks at Phyllis, and Danny says, see, this is what I'm talking about. I care for both of you, but in completely different ways. And he says, Phyllis, we are not together. She goes, yeah, but that's not what the kiss you gave me, the kiss we shared, blah, blah, blah. And then the other kiss, so she's like, Christine, no, there's been 2 kisses. She said, they say otherwise, right? And Christine just looks, she goes, you know what? Because you throw yourself at him, you this, you that, and blah, blah. And Danny says, you know what? All right, I'm leaving. And he just walks out. So then they snipe at each other some more. Both of them try to best each other. And Christine leaves. And Lucy and Heather come in. And they talk about, because Phyllis is still there, they talk about how, or no, she comes in on them. Somehow she leaves and comes back because they say, oh, they left. Danny, he's at the apartment. He, was not looking quite right, like something's going on with him. But, he didn't want to come out with them. So Phyllis is talking about her favorite girls, and yada, yada, yada. And so then she ends up going to the house, and because Heather and Lucy were, of course, talking about the family getting back together again. And Phyllis comes in, what are you two talking about? And so they don't tell Phyllis anything, but Phyllis goes and Daniel goes home because Daniel runs into Lucy and Heather, and they invite him to stay. He goes, no, 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 no. And they mentioned that Danny was there, and Daniel says, I'm going to go home and check on my dad. So he goes home and he's talking to Daniel and Danny, and Danny lets him know that it's just drama between Christine and Phyllis. And of course, Daniel is Daniel. So in other words, my mother has insinuated herself into your relationship with Christine, and she's the one causing the problem. Daniel went straight to there. And Danny says, look, yes and no. It's not that simple. Phyllis and I have a good relationship. I'm supporting her. I see she's changed. And Christine and I want to have a relationship with her, but she's trying to dictate who can be my friends and who can't. And so, and then they end up talking about Heather and Lucy, and Danny ends up saying, okay, see, wait now. And Daniel says that they're back together, but they're putting things on pause so he could tell Lily, because it's the right thing to do. And he goes, and how does Heather feel about the pause? He goes, she's not liking it. He says, but I need to tell Lily. And so, whatever, they kind of talk that out. Well, there's a knock on the door. Knock, 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 and Guess who the knock on the door is? The knock on the door is Phyllis. Hi, Daniel. I came to take my son to dinner. And so Daniel's like, you didn't come to take me to dinner. You didn't come to take me to dinner at all. Right? Let's face it. And so she goes, oh, Danny, you're here. And she just, you know. And Daniel looks at the two and he walks out. I think he leaves for something. And Phyllis is talking to Danny, and Danny ends up telling her, no, you know what? I gotta go. Or no, maybe Daniel went into another room. Or no, Lily called. That's what happened. Daniel went outside into the hallway to talk to Lily privately. And that's when Phyllis and Daniel got to talk alone. And, she's like, that there's a connection and that Christine is in the way. See, she bashes Christine just as much as Christine bashes her. So he goes, no, Phyllis, like I said to you earlier today, there will have to be space between us, period. All of us, because I don't like this chaos. And so Daniel came back in, and Danny says, I gotta go to the studio. And then Danny grilled Phyllis, saying, you were trying to break up Dad and Christine. And then, of course, Phyllis is Phyllis. Phyllis is like, no, why would you take the bugs side over me? The bug side. And he goes, oh, I'm not taking the bug side. She goes, but Mom, you and Dad have not at all been together since I was a baby. So, no, Mom, this is you trying to best and one up Christine. It has nothing to do with Dad's feelings. And that's why I have a problem. Is it's only going to hurt him. And you're just doing this. She takes how dare you? Nobody wants to give me a chance. Oh, I can't get your breath. And he goes, you know what, Mom, cut it. Mm-mm. Nope, this is me you're talking to. You will not be the victim at all. So anyway, Phyllis ends up leaving, but while she and Daniel are talking, Danny's at the elevator and he's trying to go down, and Christine comes up and he goes, Cricket, what are you doing here? I don't like the way we left our conversation at the coffee house when Phyllis is around. I wanted to come and finish talking and clear the air. Can we go in and talk? And he's looking at the door thinking, oh, Phyllis is in there. And so he goes, I said what I had to say at the coffee house, Cricket. I can't. And she goes, no, we owe it to ourselves to talk this out. He goes, okay, I got time for one cup of coffee. So he goes to the coffee house with her, and and then it turns into Phyllis always comes between us. Phyllis, and he's just kind of sitting there. Like, oh my goodness, this is not talking anything out, right? This isn't talking anything out. And so Phyllis comes in and, oh, so you're here. I thought you were going to the studio. When you left Daniel's apartment, you said you were going to go to the studio. And Christine is like, wait, she was in the apartment when I came. That's why you didn't want us to go inside? And he looked at Christine and he goes, yeah. Why? He goes, because what's starting to happen right now. He's looking at this reaction right here. And she's just looking. And so I think Christine ended up still, it's like too many. Come on, you guys. This is not high school. This is not high school. And no, Danny, you can't have it both ways. Because see, you love lip locking with Phyllis. You like that dangerous wild side, doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, because guess what? You on tour, you're doing the same thing with the groupies, pretending like, oh, they're just nice fans. They're just so nice. Oh, and then when they throw their underwear at me, oh, I catch him. I catch him. But look, that don't mean nothing. Don't misread anything into that. And then when I go to the bathroom on tour and a roadie, a fan, she follows me in to the stall. Come on now. Just do what I got to do. It just happens. Don't read into that. Because, see, I love you. That's really what he's saying. He's playing both of them, but pretending to be naive. So I don't know what's worse. So anyway, everybody, that is pretty much it. Let me see. That's pretty much it for Y and R the entire week. Yeah, because we deal with Audra annoyingly. Tucker, don't speak to, you're just waiting for Ashley. Tucker, I'm so sick of that. So that's all that happened. Nothing else is going on. And I'll be back. Goodness, it probably will be another weekly recap. We'll see. I'll try to sneak some more in so that at least I get 2 in within the week. But I'm going out of town again. So anyway, everybody, I will come back with another. Let me see. Do I have comment corner? I apologize. I don't have my comment corner up. But let me see. Were there any comments on comment corner? So let's see. For my young and the restless. Comment corner. There's a couple of comments here. Let me read them. We have Daily Recap Lady. Would it be something if Tucker's big plan involved him and Diane working together to take down Jack and the company? Wow. I know, right? And then Belinda says, recap lady, no, Nate and Audra didn't hit the sheets. LOL. I've told you this before. I love your Nikki facial expressions. You're absolutely the best at recapping the Genoa City characters. Thank you, Belinda. Both Kyle and Jack are pitiful. Ashley's pitiful too. I feel a bit sorry for her because she's about to fall deep into the rabbit hole. She's still in love with Tucker. Yes, she is. Thanks for the great recap. You're absolutely the best. Oh, Belinda. Oh, goodness. I got to try to get to more YNR recaps versus the weekly ones, but I can only do so much. But thank you so much for these phenomenal comments. And I will be back with another daily or weekly or bi-weekly recap of The Young and the Restless.